everybody, Chris B-Meter here, alive and breathing after battling the flu for a few days. Actually missed the Royal Rumble because of it. Was at the party to watch it and ended up having to leave because I was feeling just horrible. And obviously the party that ensues after that is never fun. So some possible breaking news today. Just read about it this morning, probably about an hour ago. I'm going to take it kind of with a grain of salt here for a couple reasons. First off, there's only a couple sources that are discussing it, and secondly, it's always a possibility it could be at work. But reports right now are that CM Punk has actually quit WWE. Obviously, he's always kind of been vocal about his issues with WWE bringing in part-time guys, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, now kind of Batista, and then those guys taking the spots of more full-time guys who kind of are going to be the future of the WWE. So obviously we know at the Royal Rumble Batista won. CM Punk was the first entrant, and he was obviously didn't win. He was eliminated, but Batista won, which means he is set to main event WrestleMania. What happened on Raw is that not only is Batista kind of thrown in the mix to battle Randy Orton, but you also had Brock Lesnar kind of came in and got in the mix too. So that's two part-time guys that are kind of in the title picture here. But what CM Punk I think's major issue is kind of what everybody else's issue has been, is the kind of supportive view of Daniel Bryan by, I guess, the higher-ups, if you will. A lot of people, especially Mick Foley, was very vocal of how he disapproved of the Royal Rumble, how Daniel Bryan wasn't even in the Royal Rumble match. The fans were chanting for him, and the last person in was Rey Mysterio. And unfortunately, he got booed like crazy when he came out, but not his fault. So those may be kind of reasons why CM Punk, if he did quit, why he did. Now, obviously, this could always be a work. His contract, I think, is up in July with the WWE, so it could be just part of a storyline where he is kind of going with the whole, Daniel Bryan not getting support, I quit, working in the storyline. But and that's kind of what Triple H and Stephanie did with theirs when they came out on Raw, is they almost kind of worked it in. And I don't know if they originally planned to do this, but when they came out, they kind of said, we're playing off the fact that the fans were upset. And I think if the fans wouldn't have shown a reaction like they had, I don't think they would have. I think they probably changed things up a little bit last minute to try and fit that into the script, so people didn't think that they really were kind of out of touch with how big a star Daniel Bryan is and kind of the future of the company I think he's going to become. But ultimately, right now, the fact that CM Punk, if he has quit, I think he was kind of set to face possibly Triple H. Remember back a few months ago when that kind of brawl broke out between Cena and Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan was in. I don't remember who it was all in, but Triple H ended up kind of pulling Punk aside and punching him, and Punk kind of gave him that look of, really? And they kind of went at it. So I think that kind of set up a foreshadowing that they would battle it out at WrestleMania. Now, who knows if that was the actual case, but CM Punk, obviously, one of the biggest stars, especially after his Summer of Punk when he kind of dropped the pipe bomb. And obviously, the WWE doesn't have a whole lot of superstars for the reason that they're bringing in a bunch of part-timers. They're not given time to kind of build up some of these guys. Obviously, we saw Sheamus come back, which was good. But once Batista and Brock Lesnar are gone, it's going to put a lot of the workload on John Cena and Sheamus, and not have Daniel Bryan if they decide to push him continually. But losing CM Punk, you're really taking a hit in your kind of star-studded roster there. Now, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of develop this into the story. Now, they kind of made it the Royal Rumble. Kane kind of eliminated CM Punk and kind of, I guess, injured him off TV, if you will. I don't know. But he wasn't on Raw. And that was kind of odd at first, and obviously now, knowing the information, if it's true, kind of makes sense. But it's a bummer because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, not just current kind of generation of wrestlers, but of all time. Like, I liked how he not only kind of sometimes would work in little kind of Easter eggs, if you will, to fans, where he started doing kind of the Macho Man flying elbow and just references he'd make were just fun to show that he really loved the sport of professional wrestling. But he was one of my favorite wrestlers probably of all time. You know, him and DDP are kind of right up there. And you know, I won't lie, he straight edge. I don't drink or anything, I think, so it kind of pertained to me a little bit. That's kind of awesome. But I just liked, you know, after watching this little documentary, kind of how he kind of held himself and how he took a lot of pride in what he did and thought he was actually the best at what he did, and he was willing to go out there and prove it. So it's a big hit to WWE, and I hope this is just either work or wrong. But after reading it and being one of my favorite wrestlers, I kind of had to say, you know, bummed out. So we'll see what happens. Outside of that, we have, you know, post Royal Rumble. Again, Daniel Bryan was defeated by Bray Wyatt, and you expected him to be in the Royal Rumble. Didn't really happen, but then Bray Wyatt attacked John Cena, costing him the WWE Championship. And then I guess maybe that kind of set up Randy Orton to take on Brock Lesnar and Batista. Not necessarily at the same time, but, you know, kind of got them into that storyline. So it'll be interesting, but yeah, Royal Rumble apparently was a huge kind of disappointment overall, and a lot of folks are not too happy about it. And now with CM Punk, if he did leave, that's going to be even more backlash from the fans because he was kind of a fan favorite as well. So be interesting to see. What are your thoughts if CM Punk quit? Who do you think is going to kind of help take the company forward? Obviously, you got Daniel Bryan, but if they don't push him, what other superstars would you like to see? Would it be, you know, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston? I know he's kind of been stuck kind of in the mid card for forever. He had that one little push against Randy Orton quite a while ago. But who's going to kind of take the reins and kind of go forward with the company? Roman Reigns is a big guy people are talking about, who's probably going to get a push here too. But kind of curious your thoughts. Were you a fan of CM Punk? Are you glad if he is gone that he is gone? Let me know what your thoughts. And we will get a new episode here on Friday. Now that I'm not sick anymore, it's going to be nice. But as always, like, subscribe, tweet, tout, share. You know, let me know how I'm doing. And I appreciate you guys watching. Till Friday, we'll see. This has been Over the Top.